Hey guys, I'm the Tsar. I got to Celestial playing solo queue back when it was like top 1000, but after I started coaching people, I noticed this one major mistake people below Grandmaster make all the time, and it's probably the main reason why you keep losing games over and over. Because unless you fix this one mistake, you can aim train all you want, you can watch all the videos talking about complicated concepts like marking enemies and space management, but you will still be hard stuck because of this mistake. So to get things started, the major mistake I'm talking about is dying too much. Now I know it might sound stupid. Just stop dying, lol. But that's easier said than done, so don't worry. I'll be going over a few simple ways to help you stop dying so much and improve your games, no matter what role or hero you play. Because if you've been on Reddit, you probably saw one of those posts with huge loss streaks in lower ranks, but every time I see one of those, their deaths are always insanely high. Just take a look at this. Almost one or even more than one deaths per minute of game. If you die this much in a game, it means you're barely even playing it. You're dead like half the time. It's no wonder that you're losing, just think about it. It takes 10 seconds to respawn, then another 10 or 15 seconds to walk back to the point, maybe another 5 seconds to find your way around the fight, and just like that, you've wasted 30 seconds. So if a game was 10 minutes, but you died 10 times, it's very possible that you only played like 5 real minutes out of 10. That's precious time where you're not doing damage, you're not healing, you're not applying pressure, your team is at a disadvantage, you can't build up your ultimate, so of course you end up losing if you're barely even contributing to the game. But I know that saying, just die less lol, is easy, so here's a few things to keep in mind that will prevent you from dying so much and improve your games as well. So the first thing that I want to talk about that should help you with dying less is playing near cover, ideally on high ground and next to a health pack. And I'm going to be using a platinum game from one of my recent students as an example to showcase you the difference that simply playing near cover or playing on the high ground can make in keeping you safe, keeping you away from danger, and helping you stay alive for longer so you can contribute more to the game. So in this case, he is the Loki and he's playing right on the point on defense. Now I know it might seem like an obvious choice, yeah, we have to defend, we have to hold the point, so it would make sense to play on the point and try to hold it from right on top of it. But by doing this, we expose ourselves to a lot of unnecessary danger that could be avoided by simply playing near some cover. Because if you look here, he doesn't really have any piece of cover near him. He's very exposed, he's in direct line of sight of the enemy team. But it's not only him, the Loki, it's also the Namor, it's also the Dagger. They're all playing on the point here and they're all very exposed. When a very simple, small but powerful change is to simply play from up here. Everything you can do from down there, you can do from here, but better. And this way, you have cover right next to you. If the enemy starts shooting you, you simply back away. You also have a health pack right next to you. If the enemy is on the point and they're shooting you, you can simply back away and they cannot see you anymore, they cannot shoot you anymore. You can even go all the way back here. You have all of these options that you could use to stay away from danger, to stay alive for longer. And like I said earlier, this can not only be applied to supports like Loki and Dagger, but also Namor. He could also be playing all the way over here. He could also be playing here on the high ground, in which case he can always drop back down to grab the health pack. And this would also take me to my second point that should help you stay alive more. He would be in line of sight of his healers. By playing here, his healers, which should be playing there, could very easily heal him as he's trying to damage the enemies. And this is especially a huge problem in lower elos because most of the time people will overextend, people will go behind walls, behind corners, and be out of the line of sight of their own healers, so they cannot get healed and end up dying too many times, like we're about to see this magic do. See, she's trying to fight, she's low HP, and there are the healers. But instead of trying to go back to the healers in order to survive, she actually goes even further and she cannot really get healed all the way from here. But instead, if she just maybe fought here or just went slightly back, she could have gotten healed and maybe she could have stayed alive in that situation. And staying in line of sight of your healers where they can actually heal you is especially important for tanks, because I'm sure you've seen in plenty of your games a Hulk or a Thor that simply just go all the way in the enemy backline and end up dying because the healers have no way of actually healing them. Or you have some flanking DPS DPS that again tries to go for the backline, but you can't heal them through walls. So if you want to stay alive longer, if you want to actually get healed, you have to stay where your healers can actually see you. And the easiest way to do this is by simply turning around and looking where your healers are so that you know you will get healed if you take damage. Now, of course, this can change a little bit depending on who you play specifically. Like if you're a flanking DPS like Iron Fist or Psylocke or even Captain America, you don't have to rely on your healers so much. But what it means is that instead of trying to focus on staying where your healers can see you, you have to instead be in places that you know have a health pack nearby that you can go to. Because if your strategists cannot heal you, you have to rely on those health packs instead. But if you don't, this is why a lot of times you will see Iron Fists or Spider-Man who have like 10 or 15 deaths. It's because they are too far in the backline to actually be healed by your healers, but they're also not playing for health packs. So of course they're going to be getting killed over and over if there's no one to heal them. And now, speaking of divers and flankers, the next point is that overstaying and overextending will get you killed a lot more times and it's going to get you something good out of it. For example, let's say you're Spider-Man, you swing around, you jump on the enemy support, you do your combo. Instead of trying to stay longer and force the kill, but risk dying, it's way better to just swing back, get your health back up, wait for your combo to go back, and then you can go again. And eventually, by doing this, you have more chances, more opportunities, you're building ult charge, you're applying a ton of pressure, and eventually you might find an opportunity where you do your combo and maybe one of your teammates also hits a shot or two and you actually get the kill. But you can't do any of that if you overstay and overextend every time trying to force something, but dying over and over. You can either disengage and wait 10 seconds for your combo to come back, or you can die and waste 20 seconds instead. And finally, the last point that should help you stay alive longer is to wait for your team. If your team gets killed because the enemy used ultimates, if you lose a big fight, it doesn't mean you have to charge right back to the point right away. It's perfectly fine to wait 5 seconds and wait for your team to be alive so you can push together and have an actual 6v6 fight, because so many times in low ranks I see people respawning, their team is dead, they go straight back to the point and they die before their team even gets there, which means that this fight is going to be 5v6 and you've already lost it pretty much. But for those of you who don't know, this is called staggering. Basically going one by one to die and be killed by the enemy team, because there's absolutely no chance you're going to get anything done by going 1v6 or 2v6. Waiting to group up so you can have a chance for an actual fight is not only going to help you die less, because you're not getting dumpstered by the enemy team, but it's also going to give you more chances to actually win fights that's going to help you win more games. So to summarize, if you want to start climbing ranks, the biggest mistake that you have to fix is dying less. And here's how you can do that. Stay in line of sight of your healers where they can actually heal you, or be around a health pack in case you need it. Stay in a position around cover or on the high ground, ideally next to a health pack, instead of playing in an open space where the enemy can freely shoot you. When you make a play, maybe you dive, maybe there's a fight going on, don't stay longer than you have to. Don't try to tunnel vision and force a kill or force something. It's okay to disengage, it's okay to go back, wait a little bit, and then go again when you have the chance. And if a few people die or your entire team gets wiped, wait for your entire team, group up, and go together for your next fight. Don't go all in by yourself only to get instantly killed by the entire enemy team. So if you just keep these things in mind the next time you play a game, I promise you will die less, especially less than your teammates, and you will have a bigger impact on the game. And believe me, over time you'll keep winning a lot because of this. You'll waste less of your time being dead and spend more time actually contributing to the game. So thanks for watching. Now go and get yourself some wins.